Hey, family, welcome back for another episode. So, as you may already know, if you've been listening, I usually keep my episodes pretty light and airy. I mean, we talk about some serious stuff, but generally speaking, we are usually the upside of things. And I apologize in advance because today's episode is not that. I'm gonna tell you, and I think a lot of you uh, can echo this. I am so fucking angry. I am so tired. I am so heartbroken. And this has been going on for a long time, obviously, because of what's going on in our social climate. But the latest murders of police officers has struck hard. And I know that is echoed certainly from a lot of you. So I'm sure you're going to forgive my profanity that may be a little more excessive than usual. I am a big fan of swearing, but I try and keep it under control on here for you guys because, if you're listening in your car, maybe you have your kids with you or something, so I'm trying not to be that guy. But fair warning, today is not that day. So you may not want to listen with the kids because I'm going to be dropping some F-bombs probably. So I record this show usually on Wednesdays during the week, and they air on the following Monday every time. So at this moment, at this time, right now, it is August 11th that I am recording this episode. And as of this day, so we're in the 11th day of August, and we have lost, and I'm looking at it right now, we have lost 5 police officers in the line of duty to violence, to assault, to ambushes. And the latest two, Deputy Sheriff Brandon Shirley was shot to death, and Officer Ella French was shot to death. And here's the thing about that, which is the thing about every goddamn police shooting, murder, ambush, and that's the silence, the dead fucking silence of corporate media, celebrities, politicians, except for the ones that are pandering and, trying to save face, like the case of Beetlejuice. And we're sick and tired of it. We're sick and fucking tired of it. There's no other way to put it, is there? I mean, I'm sure there is, but it's not my way. So this is how I'm saying it. Ella French was 29 years old. She was doing her job, and she was murdered for it. And all those celebrities, all those politicians, all those fucking assholes, all they do is cry big fat crocodile tears for criminals who most of the time they don't even remember the name. They don't even get the names right of these people that they're making martyrs of. You saw Pelosi do that more than once, right? But when it comes to our fallen officers who are murdered in the line of duty of helping people, they say nothing. Nothing whatsoever. So, yeah, I'm pissed. And I'm sad. So today's episode, I got that vent out. And so today's episode is going to be kind of an extension of that. And this one's going to be called, we're going to call this one, I Am the Fraction. And this is a police wife's vent. So as you can hear, I'm already venting. I'm already on my tirade. But You ever see that meme, or one of them? There's tons of them, of course, but you ever see that meme? It's like a man sitting in a chair with like popcorn in his hand, like a bag of popcorn in his lap, and he's watching wide-eyed as the world is on fire on the television screen in front of him. You've all seen things like that, right? I mean, that's exactly how I feel right now. I feel like we are just watching a world on fire. And the thing that got me about that is, it made me think more about it, was that he just sat there passively, just sat there watching like it's a movie, just not doing anything, just watching the world burn. And I feel like I've found myself sitting like that, without the popcorn, of course, every time before these news broadcasts detailing another ambush or murder of police. And by the way, that's not on your corporate media that I'm watching it. It's on sources like Law Enforcement Today or the Daily Wire, and people who actually give a shit about America and our law enforcement. And what I thought was, the only thing worse than the world being on fire, so to speak, is that a large part of society is rejoicing in this and experiencing glee at this. And then there's another part that is like apathetic to it. And then there's this fraction. There's this fraction of people who are horrified and heartbroken and angered by it. And I am a member of the fraction. I'm a police wife. Now, we've watched all of these things while our husbands and wives and partners in law enforcement prepare for another day at work. I mean, this is going on TV. We're watching these things happen. We're watching it via social media. However you're getting your information, we're watching these things happen and sending our loved ones out the door to walk right into the fire, basically. So while members of our Blue family are preparing to bury another brother or sister in blue in another part of the country, we're trying to act normal. We're trying to act like it's just a normal day in the life. And, in its weird, fucked up way, it is another normal day in the life. This is our normal. But, and, these are, you want to hear our normal out loud conversations? Our normal out loud conversations, and I know that you know this because you have them too, but the out loud conversations that we have kind of sound like, things like, hey, did you want me to drop off the dry cleaning today? And he says, nah, I'll do it on the way in. And what you don't say, the thing that's not said, the thing that's underneath these mundane conversations are things like, I'm scared for you. And I'm scared too. We say things like, I'm thinking steaks on the grill tonight. Sound good? Sounds good, babe. And underneath that is, don't go to work. And his reply or non-reply, no choice, I have to. Out loud we say, don't forget we have plans on Thursday with, whatever, Tom and Sue. Got it. It's on the calendar. All good. As long as they don't order me in. Underneath that is, what if? And I know I'll be okay. I mean, those are the conversations underneath the conversations. The things we don't actually say out loud 98% of the time. Those are the conversations underneath. And then, of course, when we say, have a great day, love you, underneath that is, I love you. Come home tonight. Just make it home. And that's our reality. That's our everyday. That's our normal. So, if somebody outside of our universe doesn't understand our intensity at times, well, actually, I don't really give a fuck if they don't understand. That doesn't matter too much to me. I was going to try and say something I don't know, pacifying and nice. But fuck it, I'm not gonna. Um, and of course, it's not that we don't ever have those conversations, those underneath conversations out loud. I mean, we do, we have to. But unless we want to unless we want to end up spending our days curled up in the fetal position in a corner, terrified for them and for us and all the ugliness of the world, we have to act normal. That's what we do. So we go for our coffee with our girlfriends. We go to work. We do everything that everybody else does. But while we're talking about, I don't know, the latest trend or the latest fashion or whatever, or hair, or who the fuck knows, and our ears automatically perk up at the sound, or our heart drops at the sound of sirens down the street, or the breaking news flash across the TV screen behind you in the coffee shop, or whatever. But see, the people outside of our universe won't even know that, because the whole time we're just smiling and carrying on, and it's basically what we've been trained to do. So the only people who know that we're doing this are people who live it. We're the only ones that can relate to that feeling, that whole underlife beneath the one that we live on the outside. And that's a little crazy, isn't it? It's really crazy when you think about it, which we don't think about it too often. Today is the day we're thinking about it. This is, I've talked about compartmentalizing before, more so how it relates to law enforcement officers and how they compartmentalize things so that they can just function. And we really are no different in that way. We do the same exact thing. We compartmentalize all of these things because we have to, Like I said, we'll end up in the fetal position, sucking our thumb, and not functioning. Today, we are opening that drawer. We are looking inside that compartment, and we're just going to take it all out. And inside that drawer is exhaustion, anger, and sadness. I am so fucking tired of the hate and the lies and the false narrative about police in America. And we all know who's perpetrating those lies and that bullshit. And as far as I'm concerned, as far as I care, and you can't convince me otherwise, the blood of those fallen officers is on their hands. They are as good or as bad as being the murderers themselves. They created this climate. They did this. They are the fucking monsters of our world. And I'll tell you another thing. I am tired of being the fraction. Where the hell are all the good people at? I know you're out there. I know that there are so many people out there who actually support law enforcement, who actually do give a shit. But they're afraid. Part of it is they're afraid to say anything because the noise is so loud from the people who hate law enforcement, who want them, abolished and defunded and murdered, by the way. They're afraid of them. And, I get it. I do. Not too many people want to put themselves right directly in the line of fire, especially when it doesn't directly affect them, or they believe that it doesn't directly affect them. But here's the thing. It does, and it is directly affecting you. You want to know in the smallest scale how it's affecting you? I'm not talking to the people who are outside of our world, our universe. It's directly affecting you because you cannot leave your car doors unlocked. You cannot drive into certain areas without fear or concern. Because you know why? Because the police necessarily aren't going to be there to protect you. because they've defunded them. They've cut their means of being in your community to protect and help you. So it is affecting you. You know, and you don't realize, these people don't realize how much they benefit from the protection of police until it's not there. So I think it's time. I think it's time for these people to stand up. I'm calling on you. If you are listening to this podcast and you are not part of the law enforcement family, and first of all, thank you for listening and wanting to know what the hell this is all about. I appreciate that. But if you're listening to this, we need you. Your country needs you. Your community needs you to stand up and say, enough is enough. We're not going to take this anymore. We're not going to allow this anymore. You know, I hear this a lot from people, from the silent, we'll call them the silent majority, because that's really what they are. The majority of people do support law enforcement. What I hear a lot from the silent majority is, hey, you know what? I would really love to post a pro-police meme or story or, you know, something, I don't know, whatever, on social media. But I'm afraid it'll cause too much trouble. I have too many people that I'm friends with that would get upset by that. And I have to bite my tongue so hard it bleeds when they say things like this, because, I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Are those people going to come to your rescue in your time of need? Are those the people that are going to arrest the person who raped someone you loved? Are they the people that are going to stop a crime in progress? Are they the people that are going to run towards danger to protect you? I don't fucking think so. So why the fuck do you care what they think? Stand up, be loud, and defend the police. And that doesn't mean you're defending bad cops. They're going to tell you that you are. That's what they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you, oh, you're defending bad cops. Tell them to go fuck themselves. Seriously. You don't even, it's not even worth trying to justify or to give that explanation. It is a intentionally antagonistic thing to say. And they know it when they say that. You don't have to acknowledge it. Shut them down. Shut them out. Get rid of them. You don't owe anybody anything when it comes to expressing your thoughts and opinions. Here's the thing. All of my LEOF can attest. No matter what you say or do, good, bad, indifferent, antagonistic, derogatory, offensive, no matter what you do or say, our loved ones in law enforcement are going to come to your aid when you need them. So I think sharing a meme or putting something pro-police in social media and risking the wrath of the woke is kind of worth it, don't you? I suppose I should apologize for being so aggressive today, but I don't really feel like it. I don't feel like there's an apology needed here, right? Does anybody think there's an apology here needed? Tell me if you think I should be apologizing for being a little bit aggressive today. I just feel like I need to verbally shake people into waking the fuck up and doing something, and stop being so passive, and stop acting like this doesn't affect you. It absolutely affects you. And if it's not today that it affects you, it might be tomorrow, and it might be the day after, but it affects you. And things are only going to get worse. I think we got a long time before things get better. Franklin D. Roosevelt said, "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the assessment that something else is more important than fear." Yeah, I'm going to read that again. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the assessment that something else is more important than fear. This is more important than fear. You know, I would say to you that speaking up for the lives of heroes is more important than your fear of not being liked by someone. But I don't know. That's just me, I guess. I've mentioned the word normal a few times, and I think I've probably laughed sarcastically each time that I've said it. I mean, what the hell is normal exactly? By definition, normal is the usual, the average, the typical state or condition of something. Normal used to include conversations where when someone asked what my husband did for a living, I'd say he's a police officer. And they'd be impressed or at least intrigued. They'd express some form of gratitude, and I'd feel proud, and life would go on like normal. Now, and for quite some time, now things are different. So anybody who tries to tell you any differently is either delusional or lying to you. But here we are. Our heroes are no longer the heroes of the rest of the world. And believe me, I am no less proud, and I know you are no less proud. The difference now is we have this wariness, like a reticence about sharing any personal information about us. I mean, personal information, simply our spouse's job. We're not even comfortable telling people what our husband's job is. I mean, I have told people, and somebody has asked me these days, and I don't know them, and they ask, "What does your husband do?" I say he works for the town, and I leave it at that. If they push, I'll tell them, you know, but at the same time, I brace myself and I get ready for a fight. Now, honestly, I am a fighter, so there is a twisted part of me that actually hopes that they'll say something to antagonize me or to provoke me or to anger me, because I'm ready for them, which is not a good way to be. I don't recommend being like that. That's a state of high alert all the time. That is not sustainable, really. I remember when this all really heated up, my husband wanted me to take the thin blue line sticker, decal, or whatever it is, off the back of the truck so that I wasn't a target. And boy, oh boy, that made me so goddamn angry. I mean, I wanted a bigger one. I wanted to put the biggest one you could find just to make a statement. But for his sake, actually, because he doesn't need added worry to his plate. I did take it off, but it still pissed me off. And that's pretty crazy, isn't it? I mean, when you think about it, that is in-fucking-sane that I, a non-police officer, not in law enforcement, cannot have something on my person or on my vehicle to show support for police, for the protectors, because there is concern for my safety. How about that? How about that? That's insane. And if you don't think it's insane, I don't even know what the hell to tell you. I don't know why you'd be listening to this podcast if you're in disagreement here. I can't even imagine you sitting through this whole thing, but God bless you if you do. Yeah, how about that? We live in a time where showing your love for our protectors, the people who protect our communities, the people who keep the darkness and evil at bay, the men and women who run towards danger and not away, is dangerous to our safety. If you posed that to me 10 years ago and said, "Hey, this is what the future looks like," I would have laughed in your face and said, "You're crazy. You're talking crazy." Well, guess what? here we are. I mean, my poor husband, he fears for my safety and well-being, just for doing this, just for my pro-police content, just for my pro-police books, and advocating for law enforcement families. He certainly doesn't try and stop me. He's proud and grateful and all of those things, but he also wants to make sure that I carry, and and that I know how to protect myself and defend myself should need be. All for words. All for the words that I say and the people I support. Amazing, isn't it? When you pause to really think about that, it's pretty fucking amazing. And that alone, speaking of my husband, speaking of all of our spouses and loved ones in law enforcement, like my husband specifically, he has dedicated over 30 years of his life to the service of others. He has received awards and commendations, and he has climbed the ranks, and he has persevered, and he has survived. He won't talk about his accomplishments, his job, in mixed company. And by mixed company, I mean civilian versus police community. That would be mixed company, people who are non-law enforcement family. This is, and I hate this phrase so fucking much, but this is the new normal, or the long-term new normal, because it's been going on for a while. But here's the thing. I'm going to state the obvious, which I love to state the obvious. The obvious is that I am not a quiet person. I do not stand down. I don't back down. I can't. I won't. And don't get me wrong. I am actually scared. My heart does a little dip and a little double step when I see there's a comment, in line in my, whatever it is, whether it's a video or, I don't know, a post or anything like that. I get that little flutter, I guess, not the happy, lovey one, but I get a little flutter of dread of what they're going to say, what it's going to be. And I have to kind of steady myself and prepare myself for it, which I do. It's fine. But it sucks, obviously. I am not fully made of stone. I'm partially made of stone. But I can defend myself, so it's fine. And by the way, I make no apologies for blocking people, deleting them and blocking them, and not giving them access to for their attacks. There are times, in my opinion, for me, the way I handle it is there are occasions where I will address and acknowledge and rebut someone. And there are times just to delete them and make them gone, because it's, people that will serve no purpose. No, there will be no discourse or communication with certain people, and they make that very clear. So I don't even waste my time. I don't waste my energy on that. I prefer to give my energy to causes that can only benefit and bring positivity. So that's where I channel. That's where I channel all my aggressive energy. So listen, this was a dark episode. And for that, I do apologize. I know I said I wasn't going to apologize for anything a little while ago, but I will apologize for giving you a shitstorm of darkness here. I sincerely prefer to be in a place of light and inspiration and happiness and stuff and things. But I felt the need to vent today. I needed to vent, and if you feel the need to vent and you haven't been able to, hopefully this for you is that opportunity to just let all that out. So hopefully you're either in the car by yourself, or you're working out with your headphones, or I don't know what, something where you can be in a quiet place and just feel all the damn feels for a little while before we put it back in its compartment and move on and get back to business as usual. But I will say, because I cannot bear to leave things on a dark note, on a sad note, I will say this. Hold the line. Hang in there. Things will change for the better, but we have to make it happen. It's our responsibility to make it so, okay? We need to be looking out for each other. We need to be reaching out to each other. As you know, our show's tagline is "Together We Thrive." And I mean that, and I believe that right down to my soul. I believe that together we can thrive in this life. And when things are at their darkest is when we especially need to band together, show support for one another. And if you are new to this lifestyle, boy, oh boy, I'm so sorry that you have come into this life, this wonderful, beautiful, sincerely wonderful life of ours under such dark times. And it is not a fair representation of what life in LEOF is like. So, you know, police family life is not for the faint of heart. It's just not. And you do have to have a thicker skin than most. And even if you don't have one yet, you will develop one because you have all of us. We're right by your side. Whatever you're experiencing, maybe I haven't necessarily experienced the same things you have, but you better damn well believe that there are plenty of others in our community who have. So you are not alone. You are never alone in this. And I do know how isolating it can be when you don't have law enforcement family members in your immediate living area and you have to rely on social media to find your groups. Please reach out to anyone in those groups. I can tell you with absolute confidence that you will have an army of women, men and women, who will jump to help you. So I've seen it. I've been part of it. I've seen it. It is an absolute fact that that is what happens. This anti-police atmosphere, social atmosphere, is not a reflection of all society. It is just a small percentage. It is, if I may, it is a fraction. It's a different fraction than ours, but it is a fraction. It is not the whole. Just hold the line. We are all going to get through this together. And this new normal is not the true normal. Trust me, it will get better because we're going to make it better. All right, we're closing out on a high note, guys. Hopefully that was some inspiration and some uplifting and some throw on that war paint mentality. We're going to lighten up for the next episode. Don't worry. Maybe we'll do like a 2-minute rant for each episode and we can just get all that stuff out. We'll think about that. Maybe we're going to do that. And then we can be all light and love and happiness. Oh, guys. Well, listen, I love you. I love our LEOF. I am here for you. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember, together we thrive. See you in the next episode.